Imagine you hire a new employee. On their very first day, you give them a task.
Book a flight, the cheapest to Singapore next Friday.
Done. How do I know if I actually did a good job? Did I understand what my manager asked? Did I come up with a good plan, or did I just get lucky?
You see, that's exactly the same challenge we have with AI agents. So, before we talk about AI agent evaluation, let's first answer a simple question. What exactly is an AI agent? Most people familiar with large language model like ChatGPT. You ask a question, it gives you an answer. Conversation ends. That's a typical LLM application. But an AI agent is different. Think of it as giving the LLM a brain and a pair of hands. Instead of simply answering one prompt, an AI agent can actually work towards a goal. It thinks, creates a plan, uses external tool, look at the result, change its approach if necessary, and keeps repeating that cycle until the task is complete. It's much closer to how a human solves a problem. Now, here's something interesting. Every AI agent is really made up of two major parts. The first is the reasoning layer. This is the brain. The second is the action layer. This is the hand. The reasoning layer decides what should happen next. The action layer actually makes it happen. And these two parts keeps talking to each other. Think, act, observe, think again, act again until the job is finished. Now, here's the important part. If your AI agent fails, which part failed? Was it thinking badly or was it acting badly? Without separating these two layers, debugging becomes impossible. That's why AI agent evaluation looks at each layer independently. It helps us pinpoint exactly where things went wrong. Let's start with the reasoning layer. Imagine you are planning a vacation. Before opening any booking website, you first think, where do I want to go? What's my budget? Which hotel should I stay at? That is reasoning. The AI agent does exactly the same thing. Its job is to understand what the user really wants, break a complicated problem into smaller pieces, create a logical plan, decide which tool will be needed, and determine the order they'll be used. Everything starts here. Of course, not every AI reasons equally well. Several things influence the quality of reasoning. The first is the language model itself. A larger language models like GPT-4 or Cloud Sonnet generally reasons better than a small model. But that also means higher cost and slower responses. Then there's a prompt. A well-written system prompt is like giving a clear instruction to a new employee. Bad instructions produce bad decisions. Finally, there's a temperature. Lower temperature makes reasoning more predictable. Higher temperature allow more creativity. So when we evaluate reasoning, we ask questions like this. Did the agent create a good plan? Was that plan complete? Did it consider dependencies? And perhaps my favorite question, did the agent actually follow its own plan? Because creating a brilliant plan and then completely ignoring it isn't very helpful. Now let's move to the action layer. If reasoning is the brain, the action layer is the hands. This is where the agent start interacting with the outside world, calling API, searching database, and running functions. This is where the real work happens, and surprisingly, this is also where many AI agents fail. Imagine someone tells you go buy milk. Instead, you come home with bread. You successfully completed an action, just not the right one. An AI agent makes similar mistakes. Sometimes they choose the wrong tool. Sometimes they call the correct tool with completely wrong parameters. Sometimes they even call tools in the wrong order. Imagine trying to book a flight before searching for available flights. Obviously, that won't work. So when evaluating the action layer, we ask questions like, did the agent choose the correct tool? Did it use too many tools? Or did it call them in the correct sequence? Did it correctly extract information from the user request? Even something as simple as passing the wrong location format can cause entire workflow to fail. Now, how do we actually measure all these? One popular open source framework is DeepEval. It provides evaluation matrix for both reasoning and actions. For reasoning, there are two particularly useful metrics. First is a plan quality matrix that check whether the generated plan is logical, complete and efficient. The second is the plan adherence. This checks whether the agent actually follows the plan it created, because a good plan alone isn't enough. The agent has to stick to it. For the action layer, DeepEval provides metrics like tool correctness, which verifies whether the right tool was selected, and argument correctness, which checks whether the tool arguments are accurate. This evaluation happens where the tool decisions are made inside the language model itself, because that's where those decisions originate. Finally, we zoom out and evaluate the entire execution. Did the agent actually achieve the goal, and did it do so efficiently? These are measured using metric like task completion and step efficiency. Think about booking a flight. One agent eventually booked the flight after 30 unnecessary steps. Another booked the same flight in 5 steps. Both succeeded, but one clearly did a much better job. Success alone isn't enough. Efficiency matters as well. Now, there's one last thing that's really important. Evaluation during development is very different from evaluation in production. During development, you are running experiment, testing data sets, comparing models, and finding bugs. But once your AI agent is serving real users, your goal change. Now you are continuously monitoring quality, track performance over time, and detect quality issues before your users do. So if there's one idea I'd like you to remember today, it's this. When AI agent fails, don't just ask, did it fail? Ask, why did it fail? Was the reasoning poor? Was the wrong tool selected? Were the argument incorrect? Or did everything work just very inefficiently? Because once you can answer those questions, you are no longer guessing, you are engineering. And that's the real purpose of AI agent evaluation. It's not just about measuring whether an AI agent works. It's about understanding how it thinks, how it acts, and where it needs to improve before you trust it in production.